Okay, so there's a big thing with these things to where they'll actually bog down whenever you have them under full or wide open throttle, I guess is what you'd call it. And the reason for that is that of all the fixes I've found, and the reason why you can't even see in there, a lot of people recommend replacing the carburetor is because of this little thing right here. Let's see if I can even zoom in on it. I believe this is the high idle jet, but it's hard to see, but you can see a little bit of something on there on the end. What's inside there? Which is why you're getting that bog at full throttles, because it's starving for fuel. There's actually a mix between the high and low screw. There's two in here that actually control the fuel flow going into the carburetor under certain conditions. So what I can recommend for this model of blower, you don't have to replace the carburetor actually without investing, just because it's, it's so handy for multiple things. Is one of these little brush sets. You can find them on Amazon here. I forgot what I got. This one, I received this one as a gift actually, but it just has a bunch of different brushes on it that are good for cleaning carburetors and things of that nature. What you do is, after you take the jet out, you find the one that fits it, and you just run it in there and kind of spin it about and clean out the jet hole inside the carburetor itself. Now, what I recommend is, obviously, first make sure you pull it and you're at the top stroke so the piston actually doesn't take this stuff in, but get yourself some carburetor cleaner. Put it down there in the hole. There you go. Spray a little bit of that in there. Carburetor cleaner is pretty good about blowing some of that fuel gunk and stuff out. And then what we can do is we'll go ahead and clean the jet. Using nothing special here, just a regular blue towel and just wiping it off. You don't have to do much else to it. Sit here as we can see that one here in the middle. It's probably the closest match, so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and run that down in there. You don't have to force it, because you will tear up your tip. Once it falls in and goes where it's supposed to go, you just kind of spin it around in there, clean it out. No, I don't see any. Usually you'll see some yellow buildup on these things whenever you're cleaning some stuff out. If it was pretty bad, you'll definitely see some junk on there. But anyway, yeah, highly recommend this little guy. Good for generators and a few other things. As a matter of fact, we'll be using it on that generator there later. It's an older Coleman one. But anyway, after we're done with that, we can go ahead and actually put this jet back in here. Now, the fun part of doing this is getting it in there without losing it inside. So actually, I'm going to set the camera down while I do this. Alright. Just pushed it in with my finger. The only special thing you need for this specific machine is you do need this tool. Again, you can find it on Amazon. Just type in spline carburetor tool and you're guaranteed to find it. Twist it back in all the way till it's fully seated. Not crank down on it, because if you do, you will damage the carburetor. One thing I did do before I take these out of here is I did crank them in all the way and mark down the settings. I wrote them down here. Had 9.5 turns on the right screw and 9 turns on the left screw. 1, 2, 9. That's it. Now, this is a tool that happens just to be for this one. I'm sure it's universal, but some of you that wonder why they change shit or why they can't just leave it a flathead screw, this actually isn't a bad design. And the reason why I say that's because when you're starting the machine, it'll stay on there. The screwdriver won't fall off, and it's not because of the flathead screw. You can't ever keep those on there, as most of you know. I mean, the idle adjustment screw is still Phillips head, which is okay. I can work with that. But it is nice having this tool on here because you don't ever have to take it off. You can just leave it on there while the motor's running. And while this two-stroke motor's just sitting here bouncing around, that screwdriver will stay on there, and you can adjust it and play with it and kind of go as you go. Alright, let's see if that worked. A little choke. See if we wake anybody up, considering it's like 10 o'clock outside and I live in a dense neighborhood. And it's still cold. There you go, no more bog. I'd run it longer, but again, most people are sleeping right now, so I don't want to wake them up because I don't want to be that asshole of a neighbor. I highly recommend getting one of these sets just because, again, they're handy. You can use them on multiple machines. You're always going to run across this, especially any machine that's running any type of fuel or petrol, depending on how you say it. Again, works good for little machines like that, and also good for generators and things as such. Keeps you from having to buy $20, $30 carburetors, because usually whenever you do that, the OEM carburetor is better anyways. You'll typically get like a Mikuni or a Walbro whenever you get like a cheap China off-brand one like I got for my four-wheeler. The fuel actually eats the zinc coating inside of it, and will, it's just cheap. stuff. Anyway, yeah, just get some brush sets, clean that stuff out, fix it yourself. Definitely save some money. Again, you got $12 in a brush set here. Carburetor for that thing's probably 20. So, yeah.